I see that participants have joined this particular webinar. I like to thank to all the participants who have showed interest, registered, and joined for the today's webinar. I welcome all to yet another session of a webinar from the CivitBuild. Today, we are going to talk about the topic that is a practical project cost management with CivitBuild, optimize budget and reduce the cost overrun. I am very sure that this topic will help you understand how the project cost management can be definitely managed or definitely optimized with the help of the CivitBuild. I just like to give you a brief introduction about me. I am Swapnil Soni. I work as a general manager marketing with SoftTech Engineers Limited. I take this opportunity to introduce our team who will be the speakers for the today's webinar. Today we have with us from UAE Mr. Dijo Jose, who is a regional director with the SoftTech. We do have a CDN product lead, Mr. Premanath, who will be helping us with the understanding a deeper product. And we do also have our delivery vice president, Mr. Premanath Basava, who will be helping us to understand the product in terms of a practical implementation. I like Dijo to take over the session and guide us further with the webinar. Over to you, Dijo.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Swapnil. Thank you. Am I audible, team?
Yes, Dijo, you are.
Perfect. As we embark on the IT adoptions within the construction sector, SoftTech as an organization or an software house, we focus on four main pillars, which is how you can make your organization a smarter, efficient, productive, and digital, making use of the software technologies or the new technologies available as per the current era demands for having a smarter, efficient, and productive digital transformation within all the industries. We understand, yes, construction sector is one of the industry which have been low adopted with IT, but it's in the transition mode, just at par with manufacturing, nor even with distribution or any other industries, what we are referring to. So what we mean by smart? Smart is nothing by using the intelligent tools and technologies, how we can make the AECO industry more smarter for getting better productive and efficient by streamlining the processes and reducing the operational silos by industry best practices. Moreover, by productive by helping the team get more done in less time rather than depending on the traditional as well as on the manual work, which increases the time for you to get the same thing executed with less productivity. And by means of digital, what we mean, how you can transform from your traditional .xls, because as we know, 90% of our team or entire construction industry still runs on Excel sheets, and how we can transform that Excel sheets or the manual paperwork to a digital platform that will enable you to save more than 40 to 45% of your regular day's schedule, and that will give a better productivity moving forward. Next slide, please. So just to give a glance on SoftTech, what is our background? Yes, we are a public limited company based out of India in Pune. And we talks about a legacy of around 28 years, exclusively into the AEC industry, architectural, engineering, and construction and operations. So we are a software house exclusively developing the softwares pertaining to the AEC sector. And we have multiple product lines that caters to the governmental sector for B2B business, for the enterprise accounts, as well as for the consultants, where we target B2B, B2G, as well as the B2C concepts within the business models. We talks about around 550 plus employees as of date. Yes, the slide need to be get updated. Yes, it is 550 plus employees as of date. Who works in our COE center, the Center of Excellence, where they develop or enhance our existing products to the new technology to ensure that our customers have been getting benefited, making use of our software for all the four pillars, what I was mentioning earlier. So we serve around 1,500 plus ULBs, the urban local bodies, especially the governmental sector, automating their entire business processes to an high technology level so that, for example, for the building permitting application solution, what we are having, which normally takes more than 90 days to get a building approval, making use of our solution, which has been drastically reduced to 2 weeks activity. So we are coming up with the technological aspects to get it rolled out to the governmental, semi-governmental entities to take the advantage of the technologies what we offers to the AEC industry. Next slide, please. So as you see on the screen, as I mentioned earlier, we are a software house developing the software applications for the AEC sector. So we have the product solutions like plan, permit, infra, CivitBUILD, and sustain, the different portfolios what we are offering to the different stakeholders within the business model. And today's focus would be CivitBUILD, which is an ERP software, more caters to the enterprise level segment, basically the contractors or the construction real estate firms, how they can automate their entire process starting from the RFP management till your P&L of the projects. Of course, we offer the services like your BIM services, what we offers in the region. As you know, the world is in the transition process, moving from 2D DWG drawings to the the BIM model. We talks about LOD 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, up to 700. So today we offer the services to the consulting firms, architects, and contractors, how we can automate their processes, taking the advantage of the BIM technology, especially the Autodesk revert model, what we are offering the support in the regions. Moreover, we are SV. For the GIS services, we offer the services from the SV platform, depends upon the project's requirements and customer needs. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, our focus today would be on CivitBUILD, which is nothing but an end-to-end 360-degree construction ERP software. As I mentioned earlier, we are not into any other industries. And this particular software has been developed and configured by the industry experts. If you see our background of the organization, mostly will be the civil engineers who will be working along with our development team. So what we assured by that means all the products are as per the industry standards and what is being expected, understanding the real ground reality, and we will get incorporated the features and functionalities that is required. So that rather than we talks about and customization for CivitBUILD or all our product solution, we talks about the configuration. This in turn reduces the implementation time frame for all our customers. Normally from a typical 6 months rollout, we talks about 60 to 90 days maximum, depends upon the complexity of the project that need to be get implemented. Few key facts what you see on the screen. Yes, it's big figures where we serve in the around more than 10 countries. We have the customer base. We talks about more than 4,500 plus project, which has been managed by the CivitBUILD platform as of date. And within the supply chain management, we talks about more than 25,000 plus subcontractors with whom our CivitBUILD application is getting interacting day by day for completing the operations work for all our customers within the platform level. Next slide. As I mentioned earlier, this particular product is being used by the target or the stakeholders comes from the general contractors. It can be a specialist contractors. It can be trainee contractors who offers their services as a subcontractor to a main contractor. Not even it can be a property developer. So as we focus on to this particular targeted audience, it will have the process flow that starts from the process what a general contractor starts from an RFP management, your quantity takeoff, your costing, your pricing, your proposal generation. And once you awarded with the contract, how you're getting into the project management part. That's what we are going to focus in today's section majorly. And how is your procurement? How is your inventory is going to be taken care as part of your NDSA process cycle of your construction business, So the main targeted audience, what we offers this and who can be get benefited out of the CivitBUILD application is basically the general contractors, subcontractors or trainee as well as the property developers within the ecosystem. Next slide. So the sub-industries within the AEC industry, as we all know, how an construction project will happen. You will have a general contractor or a main contractor. Under that, you will have the subcontractors serving the different disciplines within the construction sector. So those who have joined in today's webinar, those who are coming from all these industries, they can make use of CivitBuild as an application to automate or to digitalize your entire process, starts from your RFP till your P&L or to your finance and HR and payroll module part of it. Next slide. So when we talk to the CXOs within the industry, we come across more than 10 to 15 pain areas what they put across the table, And what you see, the shortlisted the first 9 or 10 key points that is going to be get addressed. Of course, all the others also going to be get addressed making use of CivitBuild application, but the core 9 pain areas which has been highlighted by the CXO community within the industries are what you see on the screen. Yes, CivitBuild is going to offer you and cut short resolutions for resolving all these pain areas what you see on the screen. Just to highlight one point, while you're doing the estimation, you will be planning for around 40% margin while you're completing the project. But in practicality, what happens? It will be get reduced to -10 or maybe on cost to cost what you're going to execute the project. Of course, what we analyze the reason, yes, everyone is working on a manual worksheet, or it can be on a paperwork what they are doing, which they don't have any collaboration between the different department within the organization, which lacks of information, the duplicacy of the processing, the procurement part may not be clear, inventory, no one have the visibility of what's happening in the inventory level even. So having an automation, fully integrated solution, this will give the visibility of what's happening in the project during the project execution, so that the responsible or the respective stakeholders will be accountable for what exactly their role in the entire project construction process. Next slide, please. So what we offers in the region, yes, it's a cloud-based SaaS model application. The CivitBuild as an ERP solution. So we have 3 data centers. One is from India for serving our GCC as well as for the African customers. We have a data center in Dubai which operates, and we have a data center in US. So it's offered as a SaaS model. It's a subscription-based, what we are offers to the customers. Based on the number of users or the stakeholders going to work in the ERP, you can get it subscribed and you can start working on the application after getting the configuration and the training from our team moving forward. Next slide. As I mentioned, it takes care of your complete life cycle of your construction project. Starts from your bid management. In our terminology, it is the estimation module what we offers to the community. You have the quantity takeoff, which is commonly required for any contractors once they receive an DWG drawings, not even an BIM model currently available in the market. As you know, most of the governmental sectors are moving from 2D drawings to the 3D, and the contractors, they need to start working on the BIM models moving forward. So system will provide you the quantity takeoff features to get it default integrated with CivitBuild application. Within few clicks away, you can extract the quantity from your BIM model to CivitBuild, and you can continue with your costing and the pricing model within the application. Yes, it supports with your procurement, plant and machinery equipment, subcontractor management, forecasting and cash flow. Moreover, you're fully integrated with the finance module, including your HR and payroll. And as we all know, what is the role of HR and payroll module within a construction? Ensuring that your actual versus the estimation, how that will be get determined, making use of your labor cost at time of project execution. So what we offer is a complete integrated solution, one in which everyone have the visibility to their respective department. And for your finance department, so-called the CFO will have the dashboards that will be available for them to take the major decisions across the table, making use of the business intelligence or the analytics tool what we offer as part of the solution. Even. Please. As I mentioned, we have multiple products, but today's focus would be more on the module which has been highlighted, which is the project progress monitoring, the variant control, as well as the cost tracking once you have been awarded with a project. So that would be your focus point for today's webinar. I hope you can just visit our YouTube channel, where which you will be having the different series of webinars what we have been uploaded. For you to get the continuity starting from each module, I would prefer you to visit our YouTube channel that will give you the webinar sections for other modules what we are focusing in the earlier and in the upcoming sections moving forward. Next slide. Yes, today's section will be more focused towards the project managers. What would be their role? and how the CivitBuild application going to help them out in terms of ensuring an on-time completion within the budgeted cost. Basically, your internal construction budget, after you have been awarded with a project, wherein which the project managers as well as the operations managers, they will have the complete responsibility in terms of executing the project which is being awarded or internally approved by the management for them to finish up the work on time. Next. Yes, if in case you are having a third-party application, or take an example, while we talk on the enterprise, they may be working on any of the tier one ERP solutions like Microsoft Dynamics, or it can be an SAP or an Oracle. Yes, CivitBuild offers the module level licensing program that enables you to pick and choose the modules that is required for you to get it integrated. So which is a common factor, one which the subsidiaries they want to have the industry solution like CivitBuild, and for the group level, they will be having the tier one ERP, which has been already implemented. So system offers you with API. Open APIs are available for CivitBuild. You can pick and choose the modules that is required for you to automate your construction business within the group level, and that can be get integrated with your mother ERP system, so that you will have the seamless integration for your construction and contracting business. You will have the software that is industry specific, and for your back office team, they can get the what I mean consolidated information related to all the other department or the other vertical what they have the business from their mother ERP system. So intake from this slide, yes, system offers you with APIs that can be get integrated with any third-party applications available in the market. Next slide, please. Yes, I think it's a good section to move forward. I would invite Mr. Pranav, who is our subject matter expert on CivitBuild application. If you could share your screen and have a quick overview on the project cost management module within the CivitBuild application. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dijo. Thank you for that wonderful explanation. Hello, everyone. Is my screen visible? I'm sharing my screen. Could you just confirm, Dijo?
You're
Yes,
good to
Pranav.
go. You're good
Yes.
to go.
Yeah. All right. So, right. Good afternoon, everyone. Those who have joined today. Project cost management is very important in terms of today's project execution, and it is just isn't about number tracking. It is about having a right tool with great analytics, with which you could able to achieve decisions. You can take right decision at right time, so you could control the cost overruns as well as follow the schedule for a project execution. So in today's project cost management session with CivitBuild, we will be showcasing you how you could achieve all of it with single application and on a same platform. So your entire organization will be seamlessly integrated and having a seamless integration flow throughout the different departments or different disciplines of your organization. With that, let's get started with the application demo. So like Dijo have already mentioned during initial part of a webinar, that after a project is getting awarded, your execution team comes into the picture, who is taking care of a project execution right from setting up the budget. It might be happening on the site, individually located on the project location, or it may be controlled from the project head office, wherein a site or the project executional heads will be sitting round table discussing about the project budgets, deciding up the costs and other parameters related to project, so that your site team will have an idea about what all resources are required to execute the project, their timely delivery on the site, and when all of those resources are required. Okay, so that part which start with the project cost management. Initially, when project is awarded, it gets directly reflected in your contracts in a CivitBuild from your tenders. Once, if you are in contracting firm, or if you are having a real estate division, you can start your ownership project in ownership part of it, wherein you can enroll or enlist all of your project information, right? Your project codes, your project addresses, right? Address and the controlling office, start and end date of project, type of project and category, your project structure. Basically, like you may have multiple villas if you are constructing your project, or maybe a tower or township project. You could have your multiple buildings, your substructural part, superstructural part, or the way you wanted to design and have your project structure ready. You can CivitBuild can help you plan and prepare that structure accordingly. Okay, setting up the project, like project logo. If you have a specific logo for project which you wanted to print on project documents, you could achieve that. Also some small controls which are having a big impact on the project during execution, like let's say petty purchases. You may allow local purchases for the project, and for that you wanted to set a limit for a month expenditure, or maybe quarterly expenditure budget. You can set that in a project setting tab. Another information tab what you get in a project defined project in a project cost management is setting up the team. Those who have an direct let's say impact, or the stakeholders for the project, can be a part of your project team. Those who are added in the project will be able to make the transactions. Of course, those who are view only, like the audience we who should be informed but are not allowed to make the transaction, we can achieve those with the help of role entitlement option available in CivitBuild. Consultant details, the taxes applicability, of course your project library, which is nothing but what all activities and item you are going to execute in a project will consist in the item library. CivitBuild got a global resource and item library in it. There you could have a multiple sections, like resources may be categorized into HVAC, your MEP related construction, your civil related construction, your road related project. Based on the nature of project, you can have your library enlisted, and based on your nature of project, you can import those library from master to the project. So you can have a resources visible only those which are concerned for that project and nothing else. So there will be no junk data available for project execution team to scroll around and have a unnecessary visibility of a random information which is not associated with that project. Another part is a document wherein you can have your documents related to your bar bending schedule, your project drawings, submissions, and so forth, which you wanted to have an access allowed for your project team to download and take a benefit of that project document. You can upload those documents and set up the rights, so those who wanted to take up those documents can go and download. And so instead of sharing it on some other medium, you could achieve all document controlled sharing with the CivitBuild platform, right? So setting up a project is an initial phase wherein you can set up the initial information related to project, and once project moves to a next, like you may have a phase wise execution. In phase 1 you are going to construct, let's say, around 20 villas, and in next phase from 21 to 40 villas, for example. So you can have those breakup done in the project phase defined phases option, wherein you can take from the structure a part of it in different phases of the project during your planning. During defined WBS is in process wherein you can add what all the activities are executable under different construction unit items. Like for example, in a basement one, there will be an excavation, PCC work, concreting work, concreting and reinforcement related work. Whereas during your floor 1 construction, you could have a block work or MEP related installation or electrical work or plastering perhaps. You can have those activities listed or added in the phase defined WBS option. Whatever documents uploaded in the previous state will be available, those who are accessing in this particular process, and they can have additional information available in terms of project documents what are uploaded in the previous step. After defining the entire WBS, you can have those bifurcations and assignment job done. So you could have a mechanical engineer who will be taking care of mechanical estimation, and you have a civil engineer, electrical engineer, and so on and so forth. So you can assign a part of a project to that particular employee, so he can take up that part and do the estimation and prepare the budget for the project. Once this job is assigned, a team will get a notification that there is a job assigned to them, so they could start working on the estimation preparation, or perhaps we could say a budget preparation part of it, right? So entire WBS with the activities which is prepared in the previous step will be available. Next job would be preparing or adding the items, executable line items basically, which is having a quantity parameters like a specification of what all included in the scope of that particular line item will be available for them to see and understand that what all parameters are included during execution of that particular line item along with that quantities. Of course, CivitBUILD support a quantity extraction or quantity takeoff tool with the help of Rivet 3D or beam integration what offers in a CivitBUILD. With that, you can have an architecture and structural model attached into CivitBUILD, and once that is loaded, system by default opens up your Rivet whatever license you have bought and opens up that particular model what you have attached during defining that particular project in the CivitBUILD. There are additional settings like there is an add-in tool from CivitBUILD. From there, system maps, understands your 3D model, right? You can set up certain parameters which are there. You can mark up the region which from where you wanted to extract the quantities. There is a mapping from the families of the rivet and from and the families in a CivitBUILD. So system will have an understanding that whenever quantity is extracted, it is supposed to be put in this category or this activity. So this is a mapping part, and you can upload your bar bending schedules in an Excel file. Once entire information is fed into a Rivet 3D model reading, all you need to do is just read model, and system will generate all reports related to your wall, your plastering report, your painting report, your installation report, and so on and so forth. So what all line items are included in the Rivet model, all of those reports can be generated in detail with their quantities extracted directly. You can have a detailed view of what all measurements included, which is showcasing that quantity in order to have that cross verification that whether quantity populated is correct or not. So you can have those dimensions which is read by the model during quantity extraction and quantity takeoff, and perhaps you can verify with the what element in 3D model indicates that particular measurement when quantity is extracted, of course. And once this is done, quantities or items can be imported directly into CivitBUILD, and you can take up those line items into your project. And those quantities will be visible to you for performing, preparing your budgets. When your quantity is available, you can perform the rate analysis and you can plan out your resources and you can set up the budget for the project. Next thing would be after having a quantity either derived from your beam 3D model, or you can enter by a manual process, just like you might be following currently with the Excel file. You can have those quantity directly inputted in the system. The rates are perhaps an interesting part, wherein like we are saying, this is a budget field. So this all rates what you are setting up here acts as a margin for your site execution team that they cannot run over it. So this is a boundary. Setting up this boundary is practically important because site team should not be facing any hindrances. In order to ensure that we have categorized these rate resources in 3 different sections. We call them RA rate, SC rate, which is nothing but subcontracting rate, and there is a standard rate. Standard rate is all associated to your past experience. I might have experience with this line item in past, so I can have those rates directly taken from there. I may have a subcontractor who is giving me that rate during floating a quotation, so I can take up that project, take up that rate, or perhaps I can do the detailed rate analysis and identify what all resources required to execute this line item smoothly with all coefficients considering wastage and everything. So this is an example. You can have this rate analysis done in a project library, and you can copy that rate analysis, because preparing budget and estimation is not an easy task. We understand that. And with the help of CivitBUILD, you can take up the rate analysis references from your past project also. So this will help you achieve and prepare your estimation with great precision and great ease. So you can define all your equipment, material, labor with their coefficient quantity for 1 cubic meter, perhaps. Let's say in this example, considering wastage, your total amount get derived for resources only. There might be sub items associated to it. Like for example, during excavation, you may have a water. So you wanted to extract that water, or perhaps support a site walls of the excavation pit. You want some additional items to be executed to help you achieve that. So you can have those items added as a side sub item to that main item. And there could be some sundries like safety cost, electricity, transportation, other overheads. So getting per unit cost, considering all of those parameters, and then having a total amount itself will help you conclude that this is an exact estimate or exact um, all parameters what is considered, and that is how you have derived the amount to ensure a smooth execution of this line item. But that's not it. In project item executional parameters are not only a limit, there are indirect costs associated to it. Like there might be a mobilization cost which perhaps you have not considered earlier. There might be overheads you wanted to consider, like 5% margins in case of contingencies, work charge establishments, and so on. There might be transportation, safety, electricity overheads which you wanted to consider on total cost of the project. You can add up that. And of course your staff who is going to be appointed for that project execution, and their salaries too are coming from that project. So considering all of this and apportionately distributing them will help you achieve your total project cost, which is not only a direct expenditure on the project but indirect expenditure, which is a cost on the project again, right? So this is a great I would say an environment which will help you build your budget, build your cost of the cost controls of your budget, and setting up those parameters to achieve your overall budget for the project, right? Of course this estimation what is prepared or budget what is prepared is subjected to approval. So there will be an approving authority who will be taking an approval or perhaps rejecting it. There might be a chance that estimation might get revised multiple times because of the drawing change and so forth. So system offers a provision of revising those estimate, and those who are approving the estimate will get to see what all changes had been done with reference to past revision, so they can take a decisions quick and easily, right? Once approval is received on the budget, there is scheduling. You can refer to our YouTube channel to understand scheduling in detail, because we have covered it in last of our webinar. So same project structure what is prepared in the previous step will be available for a planning team or planning department to do the planning. With planning they can have a cost what is derived during your budget setting, and they can have a Gantt chart which is graphically showcasing the overall project progress as it is linked to the daily field reports. And so that I will be covering in few more minutes. With planning, team would be able to understand what my cash flow is going to look like, so they can plan the money or execution expenditure well in advance, that because they know in that month, in order to ensure a right project progress, they need to have this much money available with them so that they can ensure a right execution of the project with the right time and on the schedule. Additionally, procurement team can plan their procurement well in advance, because that is always a complaint during execution, that material is not available on time, hence the project is getting delayed, or there might be a cost associated to it, of course, because whenever there is a time there is a cost. So we can achieve right procurement on the time, because procurement team will know well in advance that in this month this much is quantity is required for this resource, so they can plan their procurement well within the budgeted cost and on the right time, so they can have that material availability well in advance, and site team can execute the project on time, right? This is a graphical representation of the same tabular view of how the procurement cash flow look like. And once the planning is done, your execution teams comes into the picture, wherein your project manager, who perhaps is in controlling center or responsible for ensuring the right execution of the project, can assign the task. So there is in multiple site engineers again under a project manager, so they can assign the task, or they can appoint site engineers, supervisors, and they can appoint and assign these activities to them for execution. And site team can see those activities which are assigned to them with on a dashboard, which is specially meant for a site team to understand what all activities are assigned to me. Now my job is to make the requisition, fill the daily field report based on whatever execution happening on the site. Perhaps it is done by subcontractor appointed for the job, or might be a departmental execution. But anyway, site execution will go smooth as it is available with all of those parameters, with specification, quantities, start and end date, and system is highlighting those activity which are getting delayed with the red color, as you can see on the screen. So execution will be a part which is very much depth, but considering our today's scope of a webinar team, I will be quickly running you through the execution, right? Like for example, making a requisition, arranging material on the site with the help of procurement team, giving a purchase order from the system, which is all integrated things available in the system. So based on the requisition, there will be a request coming to procurement department after verifying with the store department that material available or not. If it is not available, procurement team can go and procure the material and make the availability of material on the site, and perhaps proceed with the payment to subcontractor. Maybe it is an advance or the final payment, depending on the nature of payment or invoice given to them. Similarly, when material is available, a subcontractor who is appointed for the job can be done with the proper follow up of the process, like RFQ, quotation floating, quotation comparison, and awarding a work order to them. Awarding a work order to them, right? So they can have a work order, directly generated from the system, and with the help of site execution team, they can fill the daily field report based on the progress, what is happening on the site, right, on the daily basis, with the quantity based completion, what are the resource consumption which were happened on that particular day, and upload some site photographs just for a reference to understand, to help a project manager understand what all progress happened on that particular day. And we can have this report triggered to project manager at the end of the day, that what were the planning versus actual execution done, what all the materials got consumed, what all the labors and machines got consumed on that particular day, or basically used on that particular day, what is the next day planning, and glimpse of that particular day execution. This all can be viewed from mobile application too, and with the help of reports triggered on the email as well. Okay, the same will be taken into consideration like a daily field report for subcontractor billing and payment certificate generation. So these all things marks expenditure on a project, basically, because we have set up the budget in project cost management, and there will be an actual expenditures coming out from the material procurement, your subcontractor appointment and their payments, and of course your plant and machinery, maybe you are hired one or rented one, depending on your machines or equipments you are buying, or maybe renting it, and their per day charges and their daily logs. So all of this expenditure will be there in the CivitBUILD, and since all of these modules are integrated, these all things are getting accounted in accounts as an expenses against that particular project, because each project is in cost center in the system itself, right? So all of these expenditure are considered in a as an expenses in a profit and loss. So whenever you derive a report out of the system, you will see that there are income inflows and there are expenses against this particular project. So you can understand whether my project is running on the budget, or there are expenses outflow maybe more than the income. So currently my project is within the loss or in the profit, based on my income and expense statements, of course. And finally, when you have during execution, you can have overall project cost monitoring, or understanding of how my project progress looks like. This can be monitored with the help of S-curve report. So this is a most loved report, perhaps in a construction execution, which most of project managers favors, in order to understand whether my project is within the budget, over the budget, right, behind the schedule or on the schedule. And some indicators like CPI and SPI, cost and schedule performance indexes, will help you understand that whether your project is there within the set limits or set parameters or not. There are of course alerts in the system which you will be there to help you understand that you are crossing the budget limit or not. during your purchase orders or making a requisition or your work orders. So your project will never run above the budgeted limit what you have set in the project cost management. And there are reports like your cost to complete reports, which helps you keep a track on a project, keep complete check that whatever the estimation or budget you have set versus whatever actual quantity and expenditure you are doing on the project, and what would be the balance you will be required to spend in order to complete that particular line item. This is just a glimpse of various reports available in a CivitBUILD, which will help you understand and achieve that control on the project, because everyone is going to do their job. Everyone, like a site team, site project manager, procurement officer, finance team members are going to just make an entries, and these reports are going to get derived automatically real time. So there will be no manipulation as it might be happening currently with your Excels. So this is one of the report wherein your resources based on your estimate or planned or budget versus your actual. So you could understand there is an amount and quantity variance. Similarly, daily report, your cost to complete reports, your perhaps a project status report, which will help you understand what is my current uh, day status as on day for that particular project, based on my planning and on the schedule. So I can understand whether I am on the schedule or falling behind the scheduled duration, or whether I am going to achieve the milestone for the project or not. So there are various reports in the system, which will help you take a quick and wise decision. And of course there are an analytical power bi power dashboard, which will help you make an analysis and take a right decisions for the project. This is one of the report wherein you can have the comparisons between different versions and estimations for the project, and you can have a straight away comparison between those two revisions and alterations what were happened in the estimation, so you can take up the decision quick and easily. So to summarize today's session, attendees, like I mentioned earlier, project cost management isn't about just tracking the numbers. It is about having a right tool, all platforms, all modules, entire divisions, all departments integrated, so you can have entire data flow funneled in particular modem, and you can perform the analysis for the data against the project what is available to you, and you can take a decision right and on the time. With CivitBUILD, you are not going only just empowering your organization, you are empowering your team to execute your project on the time, on the schedule, and deliver what is best possible. With that, I hand over a session to Swapnil. And Swapnil, if you could take the session further. Thank you for that.
Hey Pranu, thanks a lot for this insightful session as well as a detailed demo about the system. I do have a few more things to offer to the today's audience. So usually, if you go on onto our website, that is a CivitBUILD website, you will just get a offer that says that you can have one user as a free plan. But if you register and you are a participant from or the registered participant from this particular webinar, we are giving you a double. So we are giving you a two users as a free trial if you register from the webinar now. How you can do that? You can go to the civitbuild.in website. You can register yourself. You can fill in the fee of your information, and then you can send us the what to say. You can submit this particular registration form. Once you submit it, our team will verify it. They will get in touch with you, and they will confirm and they will activate your Civit build trial. Yeah, that's it from the today's webinar. I request participants to come up with the questions that they like to ask for the today's webinar. Yeah, I request participants to share the questions from the webinar.
the participants, if you have any questions related to what we have demonstrated today, if you have, you can just put it in the chat window where we have the Mr. Premnath, who is the subject matter expert available, in fact, who is the product head for CivitBUILD application, who can answer any specific questions what you have.
Yeah. I see there is one question that is from Mr. Adnan. So Adnan, shall we get a recording is the question raised by him. Yes, you will be getting this recording available onto our website shortly. And we will also send out an email once this is available on our website. So in meantime, I also released one poll. So it's good if you can share the feedback for the today's webinar. That will definitely help us to design our upcoming webinars as per the audience requirement. So I request you all to please submit your feedback for same. Yes, any questions? Yeah, I can see there is another question coming up again from the Adnan. And the question is, how about the pricing for the corporates?
So let me jump in here. So Adnan, it's very simple. What we offer is on a SaaS model, or it can be an, if in case you are already having a tenant in either of the cloud environment, like your AWS or Azure or Google, you can do the subscription only for the license, and you can provisionize the space from your existing tenant, the cloud tenant. Or if you have your own on-prem servers are available, you can do the deployment on your on-prem servers even. So we do offer SaaS model, cloud subscription model, as well as the perpetual license. So if you want to stick back to an CapEx model, where in which you want to have the initial down payment of the license and lifetime license, if you want to purchase, you can do that. Or you can go for the OpEx model, where in which you can opt for the yearly subscription model. Either it can be a SaaS model, one which we offers along with software and infrastructure, or if you have your own infrastructure, you can subscribe only for the license, one which the ICT part will be taken care by the respective IT. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, any more questions? Yeah, please ask the questions if you have, if you can put those questions into the chat box and we will answer those questions. Okay. I can see one more question that is again related to the pricing. And the question is, what is the per license cost for perpetual type?
Great. So the license cost varies region to region. Unfortunately, I don't know, Adnan, you're joined from which part of the globe. So we have specific pricing for each region, where in which our sales team can reach out to you directly, and we can provide you based on the number of modules what you're going to choose for your implementation process. So as I mentioned, it is module level licensing. If in case you're going for the full package, and again, depends upon the region, you have different pricing model. So I believe you mentioned that you are joined from Pune, as well as I believe you have office in Middle East even. So
No.
we can discuss that one in detail, and we can come back to you with analyzing the scope of implementation, which all modules you need to implement, and based on that, we can share you the final license cost as well as the implementation services cost.
Yes. I believe, yeah, engineer Dattatreya is from Pune. He is asking for perpetual type license cost.
Again, same
Mm.
answer, Mr. Datta. In fact, the gentleman.
Dattatreya,
So
yeah.
our sales team will touch base with you. If you can just put it in your poll window, just to reach out back, one which the regional sales managers, they'll be reaching out to you to get the further information related to the perpetual as well as the different licensing model what we offers.
Sorry. There is one more question I can see under the question and answers. It is not under the chat. So the question is that can we see overall project health in terms of a cost, timeline, and resource? Okay, I'm just putting this here into the chat. So this is the question.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is Premanath here. Yeah, definitely you can see the project health. As you know, CivitBUILD covers the entire the project management perspective in terms of budgeting, timeline, and the cost. So when we have planning done, right, with the estimated cost and the timeline. And when we execute the project with the tracking of what is the material, labor, machinery consumed, which you use during the project execution, which is tracked through the daily progress report. System will compare what is the planned cost versus actual cost incurred. So we have a reports like cost to complete report, yes curve reports, and to variance analysis. So this will give you the the overall project health in terms of cost, timeline, and resources. So that we can have more detailed demo once you connect to us. We can do that.
Okay, I do see one more question under question and answer. That is from Mr. Harshad. And the question is that how do you ensure cost control for projects?
Yeah. See, basically there are when I say cost, it has two to three parameters. One is like the BOQ, the bill of quantity, where we are tracking what is the actual the budgeted BOQ versus actual BOQ executed. Second is the bill of materials, the cost and the quantity of materials, machinery, and the labor hours that is being estimated for a project, right? So that is being that has to be tracked. So these cost is basically budgeted through a project cost estimation module, which will be tracked during the execution. Like for example, I am doing an activity called plastering. So what system does is it has a strong rate analysis feature, which will give you what is the material requirement, material labor requirement for doing 1 square meter of plastering. So when you in the BOQ, you have say suppose 10,000 square meter of plastering, correct? So when I'm executing it, the project engineer, whenever they are updating the daily report, they will give the inputs on what is the quantity of work done, and against that, uh, how much of quantity of material and labor is used. So through that, we can compare what is my budgeted cost versus what is my actual cost. So in terms of material, because when you do a budgeting, you do with the certain rates. What system does is whenever you are procuring the material or labor, system keeps track of what is your material requirement or the purchase cost. It will go on a weighted average base. So it will track how much actually the cost of material that is being consumed in the project. So system is having a reports to compare what is planned cost versus actual cost used during the project execution. Hope it is clear.
Yeah. So we do have another 2 minutes of a time. If any more questions are there, those are still welcome from our side. I request participant to even put the questions. We do have another 2 minutes to cover. Okay, we got one more question. So the question is, can we use the CivitBuild on a mobile app?
The field activities, like for example, daily progress report, requisition by the project team, material receipt at the field, stock transfers, whatever are the field activities are there, like sales inquiries, all the field activities that can be done through the mobile app. like approvals are there where the management team is keep moving, right? So in that case, whatever is the on field activities that need to be carried out are available on the mobile app, which is both on Android and iOS.
Recording. Okay.
So adding to what Mr. Prem said, all your field project site related activities that would be taken care by the mobile app. So it's not mandatory that your site engineers nor even the supervisors need to carry the laptop. They will be getting the visibility on the activity which has been assigned to them. They can update their DPR. Your regional warehouses, guys, they can receive the GRN, making use of the mobile app. So the complete operational related activities at the project site, including your approval process on the move, is being taken care by the CivitBUILD mobile application offered in Android as well as in iOS platform. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see any further questions under the chat as well as under the question and answer session. So I like to thank to all the participants as well as the panelists for conducting and making this section a successful section. And thanks a lot. We'll meet again next month for the another upcoming webinar with a new topic. Thanks all for joining for this webinar.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.